Where the heck have we been?
Stay tuned to find out. So we've been a little MIA this past few months. It is now September 3rd, Labor Day weekend.
We've been kind of work camping and working and dealing with a lot of things in life for the last couple of months.
So we started doing our work camping thing in Allegany in June. We had the first 2 weeks of June. Unfortunately, Ron had to work a majority of it. He came down for the first weekend, then a long weekend, and then came back for the last weekend to go home. We got to test out our Starlink there.
It seemed to work really well.
We ended up having to make it mobile and put it across the street.
We made a new box, put it in so that we could use our Jackery to power it and have the router inside the box. And then we had everything working across the street from the campsite that we were in for the work camping job.
So every night we just tear it down, and then the box he had wheels on it, so we'd pull it out there and put it back out there. And it worked pretty good for us. We were able to get enough signal for Mom to watch TV and a little bit of texting, which is always nice in an area where you have absolutely no cell service.
Yeah, there's no cell service whatsoever in the park.
So,
People have to drive all the way out a few miles to get outside the park in order to even get anything whatsoever.
no bears on that trip in that area. Bella. So for the work camping, there was just a lot of cleanups and
we're in a bigger area than what we normally are in.
150, 160 campsites in those loops.
And there was a lot of turnover on the weekends, so there was an awful lot of cleaning up campsites and traveling around.
It was nice having the electric bikes.
We traveled around using the electric bikes instead of driving the cars from campsite to campsite,
Put a
and
little basket on it.
that worked really well for us.
So anyway, then our next gig was July 4th weekend. We were down here for another 2 weeks. Ron took off a whole week of vacation that time, so that was nice. We had a good 10-day spread where he was here.
And yeah, that's when we ran into our bears. And the bears are something that I really enjoy. I enjoy seeing them.
It's nice to see bears in the wild. It's not nice to see bears in the campground eating stuff. It was a troublesome bear this time. He got into some people's stuff that they had up in their trunk. He dragged it right out and started eating and found out wow, that was a huge friggin' bird.
There's a blue heron.
Sorry. Squirrel. So he dragged the whole thing out and knocked their coolers over, and then proceeded to grab the marshmallows, the cereal,
Yeah, the Frosted Flakes and Cocoa Puffs. He loved
and
those.
all the sweet stuff, and started to eat on that. He left after we got rid of the bear, and
the pork ribs.
he
and
left the ribs and the chicken cutlets
all
and all the other stuff. So it's amazing that the bear patrol comes and scares them away. It's nice to have them here.
Well, that night B20 was quite a nuisance, and he's an awfully big bear. He's like 450 pounds, and I come around a Jeep and saw which bear it was, and I knew I wasn't going to do anything to scare him away. We waited for Bear Patrol to show up.
Which is nice again because we have the Starlink at our site, so we were able to make a phone call right away.
And when Bear Patrol pulled up, we saw who it was, and it's a young girl that you'd be amazed. She's
all the guys were impressed with her.
all the guys were calling her, calling her things. They
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the one little kid was calling her Mighty Mouse. Yeah, she got out. She got out to haze the bear, and
chased him right down the creek. So in the July trip, my whole family was down here, so we got to get together with them and get Mom out of the camper and enjoy a day of visiting.
And we got to take Judy's mom also to the casino,
Yeah.
and we went and had went to the buffet, and she enjoyed herself. She got to play some slots, and at the end she got a little voucher, and she was so proud of her winnings. Her voucher was for 10 cents. She was glad that she won 10 cents and was sorry to tell her that she lost $19.90.
You couldn't bet any more to zero out the machine, so we just cashed it out for the 10 cents. But anyway, that was fun. So we were able to get out and do a little bit of kayaking.
That's something that we always have enjoyed. We haven't been able to do very much of in the last couple of years because of a lot of things that were going on in life and not having really a lot of time to do that.
It takes time to go out there, take the kayaks off the car by the time you get the kayaks in the water. There's no cell service here, so I can't have cameras, you know, to keep an eye on mom and stuff like that. So it's a little harder to go kayak. We can go out and we go for a walk here and there and stuff like that, but you know, getting out for an hour or two. But since my brother was down here, he came and he hung out with mom for a little bit, so we were able to go over to Red House Lake and try out our new water shoes and get the kayaks in the water. And
It was funny because we got out and the sun was shining. We got the kayaks in the water, and we just barely got offshore, and the sky turned black, and we got halfway across the lake and it started pouring. But
well, it started drizzling then, and then it kind of stopped, and then we went a little ways over, and then it poured.
so we kind of looked like drowned rats, but we enjoyed it anyway because we were able to do it.
Right. Starling's doing well at this location because the sky's a little bit more open. It did take about 5 hours when we first got here for it to hook up and connect and get internet. It hooked up really quick, but it wasn't doing much of anything, and then all of a sudden it popped on about 5 hours later, so that was a little weird. And so the sad part about this trip is it's the last trip with Steve. If you don't know who Steve is our camper.
Our 2006 Thor Hurricane Class A motorhome is up for sale. We're selling it, and we've kind of done a thing and upgraded. And
We found a camper that's going to fit our needs for the three of us a lot better. We already named the new camper too,
its name is Cha-Ching.
because it's going to cost a boatload of money.
Bella has been doing really good on the hikes. She's really enjoying being able to go out. She's actually gotten 2 numbers on the Allegany 18, which each trail is numbered, and somewhere along the trail they've got a wooden number on a tree, and you're supposed to stencil, but the stencils don't work all that good, so we get a picture with each of the numbers as we go. So
Buddy did all 18 of them, so we're starting Bella on getting them. And the unfortunate part is we have to get our butts in shape to be able to do some of them, because we've fallen out of our regular routines too. So we're working on all of that.
If you like this video, give it a pause up. Leave some comments in the video or in the description down below.
And hopefully we'll see you before 2 months. Bye.
Bye now.